This is massive. According to multiple NBA insiders, they have just reported that Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks starting center for next season, will miss the next several months due to rehab with his ankle. We're going to break down these latest reports, what it can mean for the Knicks moving forward, and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Mitchell Robinson is set to miss a few months due to ankle rehab. Another year, another Mitchell Robinson situation. And when we need him the most, when we have a championship roster we've constructed over the last few years, and we finally need him to step up and do something for us, he's nowhere to be found because, unfortunately, he's still going through rehab with his ankle. And I understand that. I understood he was going through rehab, but I thought he was doing that for the last few months. And if he missed a game or two, I could understand it. But now, given the recent reports, he could miss months. We're talking about all the way up to January. I never expected that. Let's break down these latest reports from Ian Begley regarding Mitchell Robinson and how much time he's set to miss for the Knicks. According to Ian Begley, in his latest mailbag, he answered the following question. How are Randall and Mitch doing health-wise? Good for the start of camp? Good for opening night? According to Ian Begley, he gave us the following answer. As far as Mitchell Robinson goes, he will not be ready for the start of the season. The Knicks and Robinson don't want to rush the rehab process and is targeting a December to January return date. Robinson and the Knicks are being cautious and want to make sure he's 100% healthy before he gets back. New York is confident in the depth and versatility of the roster until Robinson returns. Earlier this month, several people with a vested interest in Robinson's health said they didn't expect him to be ready for the start of camp. NBA insider with the New York Post, Steph Bondy, further confirms this report by giving us the following information. Robinson's December/January return is still contingent on him progressing in rehab, as the Knicks are prioritizing not rushing him back before he's 100%. And another NBA insider with Newsday, Steve Popper, gives us this following update about Robinson. According to him, speaking with an NBA team trainer last week, I was told that repeated foot/ankle injuries with a big man like Robinson are an issue and that caution in rehab is needed. And even though it's no guarantee that a 7'1", 280-pound player who jumps isn't going to re-injure it again. Shout out to all of these great NBA insiders for giving us the following updates about Mitchell Robinson and his status for opening night and really the rest of the regular season. And as we just heard, he's not going to be missing 1 month, not going to be missing 2 months. He could potentially be out till December or January. It all depends on him, his rehab, and how he progresses. And as we've just seen over the last few months, he has not been progressing all that well. If he had been, he would have been cleared by now to return for the Knicks and help us on our championship run. But now, like we always have to do, the Knicks have to scramble to figure out what they're going to do, given the fact that Robinson is likely going to be out until January. And that is a huge blow for a Knicks team looking to go all the way to the NBA Finals and bring a championship home where it belongs, to the city of New York. When you're missing somebody like Robinson, who cannot be easily replaced, given what he does for the Knicks on the defensive end and what he does for the Knicks on the rebounding end. You got to remember, offensively, on the offensive rebounding end of the floor, Mitchell Robinson is one of the best bigs in the game, and those second chance opportunities are crucial for New York. When you miss him and you have no other center that you can put in there to replace him, it's going to hurt you. Now, the Knicks have only 2 active centers heading into the regular season, Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims. With Jericho Sims, each and every time he's been given an opportunity, he's never been able to step up in the way we've needed him to. Maybe now, the fact that he's fully healthy, headed into training camp, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's going to have something to prove. He's going to need to make a statement. And really, if you look at the roster, there's not that many bigs on it. So right now is his time to shine, take this opportunity, carve out some meaningful minutes for himself, and maybe show everybody in the Knicks organization that while Mitchell Robinson is out, you can count on me to be the starting center for this team. I'll hold it down. Precious Achiuwa can back me up. We'll do our best. And then, and only when Robinson's fully healthy, he can come back, he can help, contribute to this roster, and make this Knicks team even better. But I think Jericho Sims has a great opportunity at his hands right now. The only question is, what is he going to do with it? Will he cash it in? Will he shine? Or will he drop the ball, fail to do anything, and have the Knicks scramble to make more moves to see who else they can add to this team? Right now, if I'm New York, since I have access to the MLE still, I am looking at Bismack Biyombo. I am picking up the phone. I am calling him, and I'm signing him to a vet minimum contract to join this team as a center. Now, whether he's going to start, whether he's going to come off the bench, I don't care. We need more depth at the position right now, given the fact that Mitchell Robinson is not going to be available till January. And that's if his rehab goes well. If it doesn't, he potentially could miss more time for New York. And I know some people think that's a good thing because if Robinson gets fully healthy, maybe he comes back in a way that has a greater impact for New York. Sure, that could happen. But couldn't the other thing happen as well, too? He comes back as healthy as possible, and then something happens. He gets injured again and has to miss more time, because we've seen that happen before as well, too, at Robinson. And that's the whole thing. That's what gives me so much anxiety headed into this season, knowing that we're waiting for Mitchell Robinson to return. And even when he does, there's still going to be a question mark because we're never going to know his status. And anything, any little problem that happens to him is going to be under a magnifying glass because it's Mitchell Robinson, because he's a big man. And like Steve Popper said, who's an NBA insider who is speaking to another NBA trainer, he told him, having injuries, the same type of injuries that a big man like Robinson has in his career right now, is concerning because you have to bring him along cautiously in rehab. And even when you do that, there's no guarantee that he's not going to re-injure it again. That's the whole thing. You do all of this and you think it's going to build you up for a great reward, and maybe it's all for another fall. That's the whole thing with Robinson. You can never give him all of your faith because when you do, things like this happen. Reports like this come out that signal that you are going to be missing your starting center until basically January, till 2025. What a huge blow for this Knicks team. We're never going to be able to replicate what Robinson means to this Knicks team or what he does for us. Sure, the Knicks have more depth to this roster right now. Sure, we have more versatility. And I agree with Tom Thibodeau. Next man up mentality. We are going to make it work because that's the only way we know. But we shouldn't have to do that. The only reason we're doing it is because Mitchell Robinson still has to go through rehab. He's still not 100%. Still the same story, just a new season that we're dealing with it. But here's the thing. The main problem is this season has major implications for the Knicks because this season starts our window to win a championship. We have about a 2 to 3 year window, realistically, to bring a championship to New York. Now, maybe we could extend that window just a little bit, depending on the contracts that we give out to certain players and who we bring into this organization. But those are all things that we have to predict. We don't know what's going to happen. Right now, we have to make sure we maximize our window. And the only way to do that is to give us the best roster headed into the regular season. We needed Mitchell Robinson to do that. Now that we don't have him, the Knicks have to scramble and make other decisions. I hope one of those decisions is using the MLE to sign Bismack Biyombo to this team. There's no other choice anymore. We need help. We need size. Robinson's going to be out for the next several months, so we can't ignore the issue anymore. We have a problem at center. And regardless of how you feel about Jericho Sims and Precious Achiuwa, having two players that more or less are going to play the center position, even though Randall's going to play a few minutes there, we still need more. Knicks, please, Leon, I am begging you, use this MLE. Get Bismack Biyombo on this team So that way we can stretch out this roster just a little bit more, get us to December 15th. So that way we can make a trade, a significant trade using that player we signed with the MLE, Preston Chua, whatever other pieces we need to include to get another impactful center on this team, whether that's Walker Kessler, whether that's Jalen Duran, whether that's Jonas Valanciunas, it doesn't matter. We need a player on this team that could potentially start for us and give us significant minutes off the bench. And every single one of those players I just named are capable of doing that. And the Knicks are going to need to prioritize those players headed into the trade deadline, because Mitchell Robinson, even if he comes back fully healthy and he has no other injuries headed into the postseason, we cannot go through another season of this happening. We cannot go into another year with a question mark. We need to have a legitimate starting center. And after all of these reports, after this situation, I think it's clear. I love Mitchell Robinson, love his game. And when healthy, he's a force for the Knicks. But each and every year, he plays less and less games for us. And now this season, he's not going to even start the year for us. The writing has been on the wall. I've been saying it for months, and I've been getting criticized for it. But I've been standing on it, and I'm going to continue to stand on it. Mitchell Robinson's time with the Knicks has been up. It's long been up. His time is overdue. It's time to trade him as soon as we possibly can for as much as we possibly can. Get another starting center on this team that we believe in, that will be more available and have at least the same or a greater impact than Mitchell Robinson will have. And I think we have the capability and the assets to go out there and get that trade done. Only time will tell to see what Leon Rose and this Knicks front office does. But at this point, it's clear. We cannot move forward with Mitchell Robinson as our starting center, because each and every year we do, something like this is always going to be on the table. And having question marks like this when you're a championship contender is just not something that any team should be going through. But what about you guys? What do you think about these latest reports indicating that our starting center in Mitchell Robinson is likely going to miss time all the way up to December or maybe even January? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.